Come join us for a 2024 reset and refresh. I'll be talking to you about changes to my channel. We are going to do a little bit of shelf shuffling, and of course Hazel's going to come along. I'm going to show you how awkward I can be dancing, and then I'm going to show you multiple recipes that we did over a couple of day period. We're also going to hit up some after Christmas sales at World Market and Mi Tienda. So I hope you come along for the ride. Grab that coffee. Let's go. This morning we're making pigs and blankets for breakfast using these cranberry little sausages that we got from H-E-B, and we also just bought a can of crescent rolls. And what I do is I can get 2 of these cocktail wieners in a roll. So what I do is I just kind of roll it halfway up and then tear it, and then just do the same thing with the other cocktail sausage. Next, we're just going to bake these in the oven according to the directions on the can of crescent rolls. Of course, I had to make our coffee using some of our Christmas mugs, and then I just got out a couple of Christmas whipped creams. We've got peppermint and gingerbread. I also had some Grinch gingerbread creamer, and then I took some of this Cinnamon Toast Crunch sprinkles cinnamon dust and topped off our coffee with that. It was a delicious breakfast this morning. I decided that starting in 2024, I'm going to start incorporating my Bible study message into my videos. I have been posting my messages on the community page for a while, but honestly, I don't know how many people see that. So I'm going to just start incorporating it into my video, whether I'm reading a quote from the Bible or just doing a voiceover like I'm doing right now. I'm just going to start incorporating a message into my videos. I think they get a little more views than my community page does. And it's so important in these times to start sharing the gospel and messages of salvation and encouragement to others who are going through a difficult season. As we enter 2024, remember that we don't have to wait until a certain day of the year or hold off until a certain date the following year to be reborn and become a new creation. Jesus is waiting for you to put your faith in his finished work on the cross. Do not rely on yourself or anyone else here on earth for things, or you will be disappointed. Jesus looked at them and said, "With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible." And that can be found in Matthew 19:26. If what you seek aligns with God's plan, put your faith in him and be patient with his perfect timing. Don't depend on your own strength, rather on God, who in him nothing is impossible. Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. May 2024 bring you all strength, wisdom, rest, and faith in Jesus. In my most recent Bible study lesson, I continued through Hebrews chapter 11, verses 8 through 19. The author has given examples of people in the Old Testament who lived by faith. He mentioned Abel, Enoch, and Noah, whose act of faith was pleasing to God. In today's message, I studied about Abraham, who was once known as Abram, as well as Sarah. By faith he made his home in the promised land, like a stranger in a foreign country, living in tents, for he was looking forward to the city with foundations, whose architect and builder is God. That was in verses 11:9 through 10. This is a picture for us that we are strangers in a foreign land, who are temporarily here. We're just passing through, and we have something so much more glorious to look forward to that we can call home. Many of us have lost loved ones here in this temporary life. And it's hard, but as believers, if they too were believers, we can rejoice and say they made it. They are finally home. Mourning is for those of us who are still here, who've been left behind temporarily. We feel their absence, but our loved ones have left one family reunion temporarily to go to another family reunion, in which we can all look forward to reuniting one day in glory. Abraham obeyed and went to where God called him, even though he did not know where he was going, and that was in verse 8. Sometimes in this unpredictable life, we may not understand where we are being called by God or why, and we're going to have to step outside of our comfort zone. Thankfully, God's mind isn't limited to what our brains are capable of processing. No matter your struggles, just remember, but God. So whatever issues you have, you can turn around and say, but God's got this. You just have to put your faith in Him. Having faith makes the invisible visible to those who believe. Take, for example, Noah. He had never seen rain, but he believed God that rain was coming, that would flood the earth, and that he needed to listen to God's warning and instructions as well as act on them. God also told Noah to warn others, but they didn't listen. And he built that boat so obediently. This was a picture for us. Jesus is our lifeboat, and the only one that can save us before the flood of judgment comes on the earth. We too need to listen to his instructions and warn others, so that they may be saved before the wrath of judgment is poured out on the earth. If you're looking for encouragement or inspiration through the good news of salvation through Jesus, I ask that you follow my community page, because I'm not always going to have the time or the chance to get a video up, but I will try my best to make sure I do a Bible study message on my community page every day. I plan on keeping the content of my channel the same, doing recipes, gardening, canning, doing some occasional restaurant reviews or camping trips. But like I said, I just want to start incorporating some Bible study messages. I think that it's very important to do prepping while we're here on this earth and be prepared. But I think prepping for eternity is where it's at, and that's where I want to focus, and I hope that's where you're going to focus as well. Hey everybody, happy New Year's Eve. We're just out and about going to different grocery stores and checking out their after Christmas specials. For example, I hit the mother lode with my favorite candy cane almonds from H-E-B. They're normally $8 and they were marked down to like $4. At first, when I got these, I thought they were just rolled in peppermint dust, and that on its own is good enough. But no, it's dipped in chocolate, then dipped in white chocolate, and then rolled in peppermint dust. This stuff is amazing. I checked the Best By date. It's October of 24. We got 4 cases of Dr. Pepper for $15, so we saved $12 on that. Actually, Corey just informed me we saved $17 on our bill with the Dr. Peppers, the peppermint almonds, and we also got free peanuts, right? Yeah. Because on Sundays, they give an item away for free, no strings attached. I think you just upload a digital coupon.
Yeah, you have to have that.
All right, so come along with us, and we're going to make a stop at Mi Tienda World Market and see what deals we find. Now we are taking a trip to Mi Tienda. It is owned by H-E-B. It's primarily Mexican food, but they also sell the food you'd find in regular grocery stores. It reminds me a lot of when you go to a flea market food court area. They just have so many delicious foods. They had tamales for $1.50, and the bakery is unreal. They were making fresh tortillas in-house. They were still warm when I picked them up. And for a cheese connoisseur like myself, I was very impressed at how many cheeses they had to choose from. The meat selection was endless too. And Corey likes everything spicy, so he was excited to see those peppers. And I was excited to get those Nutella biscuits. And I had never seen cinnamon sticks this big before. Pretty incredible. And Corey spent a lot of time on the spice aisle. He is all about the spices. We love our Texas sheet cakes. This hot sauce looks big enough to be right up Corey's alley. Vinegar from London in a Hispanic market. I love it. I could not believe the selection of tamales they had for $1.50. They were amazing, and there was such a variety to choose from, and they were all made fresh in-house. They also made some gorditas, pupusas, and other things as well. And they make the best fruit drinks, especially the ones that are milk-based and have the sweetened condensed milk in it. I also got some elote corn and ate that in the car while we went on to World's Market. So I was getting all of these ads popping up on YouTube for World Market, and I told Corey, wow, I wish we had one of those around here. And he looked it up, and sure enough, we have one just a few miles from our house. It replaced the Bed Bath & Beyond. This was a really, really neat place. It doesn't have any perishable foods. It's all shelf-stable things. And it also has, it kind of reminds me of a Pier 1 Imports or a Kirkland's. If you've ever been in there, I mean, they sell furniture, they sell home goods. But we just kind of browsed through the food department. I really had to use self-control because I saw so many things that I wanted to try. But the truth of the matter is, our pantry is pretty well stocked to the point that, you know, some things have expired and a lot of things we've had to give away so they don't go bad. A lot of these were unique and fun little novelty items, but nothing that I couldn't live without. I saw a lot of things that I thought would make great gifts, but I'm going to focus on being more frugal in 2024 and not just buying something just for the heck of it, but sticking with the foods that we need, the less processed foods, the more natural, healthy foods. Sadly, I didn't get a lot of footage in this store because my battery died 5 minutes into the trip. When we were at Aldi today, I went down the aisle of shame and got this nice little Sherpa fleece. I don't know if you want to call it a jacket. It's more like a pullover that has a quarter zip. But anyway, I think I got this for $14. Corey asked me if he could have one of these shelves in the pantry. He is working on a project in our laundry room area where we put our mason jars and different things like that. So I know if you have been following my pantry organization series, I just was working on part 4, I think, in which I organized this shelf, but I've decided this is the one that I'm going to give him. It's the narrowest. It's the one that he said he wanted. So I'm not really doing any organization today. I'm just moving what's on the shelf to these shelves. But I thought I'd still take you along with me, so let's go. So first we have to clean off what is on here. Actually, some of this stuff might be able to stay. We have some freeze-dried avocado. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put it on the bottom shelf with my freeze-dried stuff. I try to keep that all together because it's got the longest shelf life. I'm not going to put these with the Augustin Farms. I thought they had a much longer shelf life. Looking at the back of it, it appears to have about a 12-month shelf life. So in that case, I'm going to put this with my freeze-dried fruit, vegetables, and snacks, which are directly behind me. Okay, this is Texas Pecan Coating Mix. So I'm going to leave this here because I'm going to need to move the stovetop stuffing and the shake and bake over here. And I think that all goes together, just kind of stuff that you coat your meat with. I need to clear this shelf off. This is dehydrated sweet potato, so it is not freeze-dried. That means it's not going to last as long. I'm going to go ahead and move this into the kitchen and use this to put in some stews. For now, I'm just going to put this in the working pantry of my kitchen with my spices. Dehydrated wasabi. I'm going to put this over here. That's kind of a snack. We've got sweet potato sticks, 2 different brands. I'm going to put those over here as snacks for now. I'll probably end up coming back having to reshuffle this, but for now, this isn't really organization. This is cleaning off the shelves. More sweet potato sticks. Get these over here with snacks. Teamwork makes the dream work. I had Corey come in and help me make a little assembly line, passing things from one shelf to another. Sad thing is, these are all things I moved in my last video, and now I'm moving them back. Of course, little Hazel hears us in the pantry. Hazel, you know we're in the pantry and you know you want your Vienna sausage, right? Oh gosh, now they're all coming. Oh boy. As you know, in my previous pantry organization videos, I've always put the Augustin Farms products on the bottom. But because these shelves are eye level, I'm actually going to put them on the top so I don't have to access them as frequently and get out my ladder. I'll use Corey because he's taller, he can reach this. So the shelf is now empty. We are going to remove this. This will allow me to put another shelf that's in the middle of the room over here, but the only problem is with the soup shelf is we use both sides of it. You see what I'm saying? Because we had this in the middle where you could walk around and you've got totally different. We'll just have to reconfigure it to where it all just faces the same way instead of having some on this side and some on that side. So he's getting that shelf out of here, and I'm going to just move this in its place, although this is a wider shelf. So I don't know how we're going to do that. Do you know, babe? So Corey is going to temporarily slide the spice rack out of the way, and I think it's attached to a rolling cart here. Okay. And then he is going to scoot these shelves down. Are the shelves locked, or do they all have wheels? Okay. So if we move this to where it touches the wall here, then we'll be able to fit that shelf in. Seriously? Well, it looks like we have like another inch or so over here.
No.
It's gonna fit?
It's gonna fit.
Okay, I think this is just barely gonna fit. So my next video in my pantry organization series, I'm going to be working on this shelf, which is all of our soup. Our canned soup, our dry soup. Is there enough room? Perfect. Removing that one shelf made such a difference. I can actually exercise in here. I can dance. Woohoo! Babe, so now that I have emptied this bin, or these shelves right here, do you want to put food in here, or do you want to use this in your garage for tools, or what do you want to do?
It's too nice to use that in the garage.
Okay, well, we can...
Pretty heavy duty.
But what about any of our condiments on our rolly carts?
Yeah.
We've got olives, jalapenos, all our barbecue sauces, seasonings, salad dressings, just different condiments.
Yeah.
But then will that be too heavy?
I don't know, it's pretty heavy duty. We could try it.
Yeah, because as convenient as these rolling carts are, they're also in our way. But they do have wheels, so anytime we're trying to get by, we can move them. He's got a place in his man cave where he stashes all his hot sauces. So we will be trying to brainstorm and figure out what we're going to put next in here. While you're in here, can you retrieve the black-eyed peas from our bean stash? Down there we have a bunch of beans that should be divided according to what type of dry bean they are. We've been stashing all of our storage containers down there. Those black-eyed peas? Sweet. Babe, what are you doing with the new shelf?
I'm just going to replace this table with that shelf and just try to get all of my tools and stuff from off the bar. And keep them up here, so in the back so they're out of the way. Keep the bar clean from now on.
Alright, and this will be our family game night table, our card table that we use.
Yeah, we don't have table chairs anymore.
Oh, that's true. You can also take some of the things that are on this shelf off and put them over there if you want. Got a bunch of mason jars, dehydrator. Got our Augustin Farms seeds. Tonight for dinner, we kept it simple with the tomato and basil bisque in the Instapot. I've actually uploaded a video on this before. I'll be sure to leave it in the link below. And then we just made it with a side of grilled cheese sandwiches. The next day, Corey made me burrito, and I'll warn you in advance, this is not an instructional video. We will be sure to do one of those at a later date. He started out taking some dried peppers and then roasting them and putting them in water. And then he roasted some other vegetables such as tomatoes, jalapenos, and onions. And then he grinded them up all together and made like a burrito consomme. Next, he seasoned the meat for the smoker, and we just used basic ingredients, a dry rub, and just mixed it all together. And you can do it any way you want. And then we put it on the smoker, but regretfully, the smoker stopped working and we had to put it in the oven. It was delicious. It's time to get started on our New Year's black-eyed peas. I always put them in on December 31st in the slow cooker before I go to bed. So I'm going to do 16 ounces of black-eyed peas. I'm going to do 2 quart jars. This one's got a little bit less of the smoked turkey broth. We're going to do some of our freeze-dried jalapeno, freeze-dried onion, green chilies, and assorted peppers. We're going to throw in a can of diced tomatoes. Let's get the party started. Happy 2024, everyone. Our black-eyed peas are ready, but I needed to take some pills. I need to get a little food on my stomach. So I went ahead and had some of this leftover peppermint white chocolate Chobani Flips yogurt that we had left over from Christmas. Corey and I are the only ones that eat black-eyed peas in the house, so I just went ahead and made us a couple of bowls to test out, and then later on we made cornbread, cabbage, and greens. This was delicious. I think the smoked turkey broth made all the difference in the world. Since my kiddos don't eat black-eyed peas, I tried to make them a variation. They do eat the northern beans, so I made beans on toast for them. This is so good. It's a Molly Yay recipe. If I remember, I'm going to try to link it below. But you just use the white beans after you rinse them. You throw some spinach or kale in. Then you do all the seasonings, the onion, whatever. I dropped a couple of drops of this new smoked garlic mustard I have. And you can also put tomatoes in here. And I think the original recipe has meat in it, like pancetta. But my girls are vegetarians. I took some sourdough bread, put some stone ground mustard on there, followed by some smoked Havarti cheese. And once I placed the cheese on there, then that kind of kept the beans secure while I piled them on top of the toast. Next, I put another piece of cheese on top of the beans to hold them firmly in place and give them some extra cheesiness. These are a delicious, high-protein vegetarian meal. May you and your family be blessed in 2024.